All right, let's go do the National League here. We'll save the American League for another topic a little later on in this hour. But let's do the National League first, as your first show is hooked up here on the network on this Monday afternoon. All right, first off, we got drama. I think that's the first big theme. You got the two big teams in the NL. The Braves who won 100 and whatever it was. Dodgers won 101, whatever that was. And now they both, really face games they have to have here today. I wouldn't put it past L.A. to get back in a series that they lost. I think the Phillies would beat the Braves one game in Philadelphia, so the Braves have to win today. The Dodgers, they need the game in a worse way, but, it's not like Arizona's a pit. It's not the worst. They could possibly win 2 on the road. It's not impossible. Phillies, if they get today, they're going to win the series. So I guess a little more pressure on Atlanta than L.A., but both, listen, they're down 1-0. They lost the first game of a divisional series and a best-of-5 in their building, and that really puts, a lot of heat on them here for game 2, off a day off. And this is something that is interesting, and it's just the way it works, and you got won the division. Atlanta really has played one baseball. Let's put it this way. When Wednesday happens, Atlanta and the Dodgers would have played 2 games in 10 days. So, they played, obviously, no games last week. They had a game Saturday. They lost. Both teams didn't do anything. And then they had off today. They have a game, then off yesterday, game today, and then they're off again. So, in essence, they had 2 games in 10 days. And for a team like Atlanta that only got shut out for its 3rd time of the year there in the regular season, they got shut out twice. And that was back in May, for crying out loud. That shutout yesterday or on Saturday, how that bodes for them remains to be seen. And if they get hurt again tonight, they got another day off going into the game 3 in Philadelphia. Obviously, and I disagree with it at the time. He got away with it, Thompson, by getting Suarez out of the game. He went to his bullpen all night long. Obviously, that bullpen got the outs that they had to get. So, it worked out, so we can't say anything. I wouldn't have done that. Suarez wasn't happy, but Atlanta did absolutely nothing offensively in the game. Great play by Turner, of course, in the 8th inning on the double play that Albies hit at 1st and 3rd. But again, the Braves, they didn't do anything at all. Now, Snitker says it's more about the Philadelphia pitching than it was about the Braves hitting. But in a short series, and they hadn't played in a week, and they're a home run hitting team, and they did nothing at the plate, that would concern you now for a game tonight against a very good pitcher in Wheeler, a day off, and then walking into that hot cauldron there on Wednesday, off another day off, and God knows what you're going to get against Nola if they fell behind 2-0. So this is a very, very significant game. We all know that. They were in a similar spot last year, Atlanta was. They had lost game 1. They came back and they won game 2, and then they walked into Atlanta and got pummeled in 2 games in a row, partly because their pitching was disheveled, and their pitching is again disheveled. They don't have great pitching. Elder's going to pitch game 3. He's got a 5.4 ERA in his second half of the season. You want him pitching in that game in Philadelphia? They have nowhere else to go. Morton's not on the roster, so they got major problems. Even if they won tonight, they got some problems, and they may have to go to a bullpen game on Wednesday or on Thursday if they get to a game 4. So Atlanta is not set up properly now. A, they have to win a game in Philly. B, they got to win tonight against a Phillies' best pitcher. C, they got shut out, which is a bad sign. That can carry over. And D, they have no good pitching themselves in games 3 and 4. So Atlanta, that had an incredible regular year, and they are not going to get away with it. Last year, you gave them a pass when they lost in this divisional round of the Phillies. They had won the World Series the year before. This year, they're not going to get away with it. They lose to the Phillies again. That's 2 years in a row, really? So a lot of pressure on Atlanta tonight. Let's see what they're made of. And Wheeler is obviously a very, very good pitcher. And remember one other thing about the Phillies. They got Nola, and then they got Wheeler in game 5 on full rest. So, you got to keep that in mind here. Let's see, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. You know what? Strider would pitch in game 4. I apologize. Because Strider went Saturday and game 4 is Thursday, so I'm getting confused on the off days. So the Braves don't have to go to a bullpen game. The Braves, full rest, can come back with Strider on Thursday for Game 4. So it's not as dire as I would think. But you do have Elder going there in Game 3, and I don't have a lot of trust in him. So the Braves to make a long story short, the Braves got to score some runs. And they got to hit the ball out of the ballpark. That is what they're known to do. And no fans throwing stupid stuff on the field as they did the other day on that catcher's interference, which, by the way, the Brave catcher Murphy did not complain about when the ball was tipped, and obviously with Realmuto on a run scored. But so behave at Truist Park tonight. But that is a scenario that the Braves have a lot of things to work with here against this Phillies team that's got moxie, has a lot of veterans. Let's be honest. If you were picking up the team in the playground and you were to take one guy, you take Harper first. Forget the pitchers. You take Harper. If you were to take one guy on both rosters, and I'm taking Harper over Acuna for this kind of series. For a short series, he's a throwback. He knows that. I'm taking Harper. And the Braves and the Phillies have him. So the Braves got a lot of work to do here. Just to get even, they got a lot of work to do. And then their work's even going to start because they got Elder, which is dicey. Phillies are 24-11 in that building with the postseason. They're very good at home. So that's something to concern yourselves with. They didn't lose a game in that building last year until they got no hit by the Astros in Game 5. So from that standpoint, that's a rough spot for Atlanta to be walking into. No matter what at 1-1, and if they ever lose tonight, you can kiss them. They're not winning 2 in a row there. So the Braves, interesting to see how they respond. Same with the Dodgers. Now, listen, I am going to attribute a lot of what happened to Arizona in that Game 1 with the Diamondbacks to Kershaw. That's what I'm going to do. And again, I don't want to go crazy because I'm sure they're doing that in Dodger land. But the problem that you have with Kershaw historically, and I don't have to tell you what that problem is, he's 13-13 with a 4-point-something ERA, 4.49 ERA. In postseason play. He's made 32 starts in his life. That's a full season in postseason baseball, and his ERA is 4.5. In a regular season, his ERA is 2.48. I find you, I'll ask you, find me a Hall of Fame pitcher close to an immortal, as Kershaw is in a regular season, who's got that distinction as far as postseason performance compared to regular season performance. You will not find anybody. He's got a 4.5 ERA in the postseason. I mean, that's for a guy who's won 3 Cy Youngs. He's one of the great pitchers in the history of that franchise. He's not Koufax, but he's had a longer career than Koufax. But a 4.5 ERA, and he was awful the other night. Now, the other issue for the Dodgers, and that obviously is disconcerting because they're going to have to go back to Kershaw, and the Dodgers don't have great pitching. But Arizona seems to have a little chip on their shoulder because everybody, me included, and Costas talked about this the other night. Now, he did it when it was 10-0. But he talked about this the other night, the reseeding aspect of Arizona, how a lot of us, me included, thinks baseball should reseed after the wild card round to let Atlanta, who had the best record, play the team with the worst record, which would have been the Diamondbacks. Now, that sounded a lot better before Arizona scored 6 runs in the top of the first inning on Saturday. But regardless, it seemed to provide the Diamondbacks with a little motivation. Here's their skipper the other day, Torey Lovullo.
I think this team has a chip on its shoulder. I think we take it personal when we watch some of the comments on television or read some of the things where everybody wanted to be reseeded. The Braves, reseed this thing so the Braves can pick on the lowly Diamondbacks. So I think this team takes that very personally, and hopefully people are recognizing that you can't just walk all over us. We're a good baseball team. We do things right. We do it in a very uncommon way. We care about things that other teams probably don't care about or talk about, and it's showing up every single day for us.
Give the manager tremendous credit. They did win 2 games in Milwaukee, so we give them all the credit in the world, but baseball still should do that. I mean, it's simple as that. If the football does it, they reseed, so should baseball. Everybody knows it. If you follow sports and it means a lot to you, that should have happened. Regardless, that's over with now. And the Braves are going to have their hands filled, but it looks like L.A. is going to have their hands filled too. And the problem the Dodgers have is they don't have any big pitching. You got to keep their fingers crossed on Bobby Miller tonight. Who knows where they're going to go? Lance Lynn? And of course, Lance Lynn, we're going to go to him now in Game 3. Issues. Remember, the Diamondbacks can go back to Kelly in Game 4. Now, I don't think they pitch, and they can go Gallen in Game 5. So they got him tonight. So the Dodgers are going to have to beat one of those two guys because they have 3 starts the rest of the way, and all Arizona has to do is win 2 of those 3 starts, and they win the series. So the Dodgers are going to have to win those games against Gallen and Kelly, 2 of their best pitchers, 2 of their 2 best pitchers by far, to get out of this first round. I expect the Dodgers to bounce back tonight. I don't see them losing 2 years in a row in this same round. I expect them really to come out. They've been sitting there nursing that 11-2 loss for 2 days. I know Gallen's good. I'd be really surprised if the Dodgers don't come out tonight and score 6-7 runs. That's me. Maybe I'm wrong. I still like LA to win this series. A little harder than I thought. And, of course, Kershaw put him in a tricky spot. Again, I know the world likes to praise Kershaw left and right, and I get it. But when you do praise him, 32 postseason starts with a 4.5 ERA. You find me any pitcher who's a Hall of Famer in the history of baseball that has a 2-run difference, who's had multiple starts in postseason, who's got a 2-run ERA difference between regular season and postseason. And trust me, you will not find it. Braves, I think, have a tougher road. Phillies, Brave pitching, that ballpark. I still think the Braves and Dodgers will get home, but who knows?